Since the moment light first flickered onto a white screen, humanity has been chasing one dream: to capture life itself. Film isn't just a form of entertainment, it's our collective memory. It's how we preserve love, loss, courage, and imagination. When we watch a movie, we don't just see moving pictures, we feel them. Film has the power to make us laugh, cry, question reality, and even change who we are. So today, we're taking a deep dive into the power of film, how it began, how it evolved, and how it continues to shape the way we see the world. Let's roll. The origin of light and shadow. In the late 1800s, two brothers from France, Auguste and Louis Lumière, invited a crowd into a darkened room. They projected a short film called Arrival of a Train at La Ciotat station. As the locomotive moved toward the camera, the audience gasped and screamed. Some even ran from their seats, convinced the train was coming straight at them. That was the birth of cinema. The moment light and shadow began to move. The magic of those early films wasn't in their complexity. They were simple: workers leaving a factory, a baby being fed, a man watering a garden. Yet they captured something powerful. The ordinary turned extraordinary. For the first time, humanity could look at itself, not in a mirror, but in motion. The silent era. When images spoke louder than words before sound came, cinema was silent, but far from quiet. Charlie Chaplin's Tramp made audiences laugh and cry without saying a single word. Buster Keaton's stunts were as daring as any modern action film, done without CGI or wires. These early filmmakers were inventing a new language, one told through movement, expression, and editing. Every glance, every shadow, every flicker of light was a sentence in the grammar of cinema. And though we often think of these films as ancient relics, their impact is timeless. They taught us that emotion doesn't need translation. A tear, a smile, a fall, they speak to every human heart. The Golden Age. Dreams in black and white. By the 1930s and 40s, film had become a global obsession. Sound had arrived, and with it came the rise of Hollywood. Audiences were swept away by the glamour of Casablanca, the wonder of The Wizard of Oz, and the intensity of Citizen Kane. Movies offered an escape from reality, but also reflected it. During times of war and hardship, film gave people hope, love, and the belief that good could still triumph over evil. Cinemas became temples of light, places where strangers gathered to share emotion in the dark. Every ticket was a passport to another world. The language of film doesn't just tell stories, it speaks its own language. A close-up pulls us into emotion. A wide shot makes us feel small against the vastness of the world. A cut, a dissolve, a camera tilt, all communicate meaning beyond words. Directors became poets of light. Editors became time travelers. Composers gave emotion a heartbeat. When Alfred Hitchcock used silence in Psycho, he made us afraid of stillness. When Stanley Kubrick pointed his lens at the stars in 2001, A Space Odyssey, he made us question existence itself. Every filmmaker adds a new word, a new phrase, to this ever-evolving language. The revolution of color and sound. The arrival of color and sound didn't just change how movies looked and sounded, it changed how they felt. The first audiences to see Dorothy step into the world of Oz gasped as the screen burst into brilliant Technicolor. It was more than just spectacle, it was transformation. Sound brought a new dimension. The laughter, the music, the dialogue, all deepened our connection to the characters on screen. It was no longer about watching life, it was about living it. The age of rebels and innovators, by the 1970s, cinema was breaking its own rules. A new generation of directors, Scorsese, Coppola, Spielberg, Lucas, reshaped film into something raw, personal, and ambitious. They didn't just want to entertain, they wanted to challenge audiences. They asked questions about war, politics, power, and identity. Movies like The Godfather, Jaws, and Star Wars proved that art and commerce could coexist, that a film could be both meaningful and massively successful. The silver screen became a battlefield of ideas, and every frame was a revolution. The digital era, reinventing reality. Then came computers, pixels, and digital effects, and suddenly imagination had no limits. Jurassic Park brought dinosaurs back to life. The Matrix bent the laws of physics. Avatar transported us to a world that didn't exist, but somehow felt real. Digital technology changed not only what we saw, but how we saw it. Filmmaking became accessible to anyone with a camera and a vision. Independent creators, YouTubers, and animators began telling stories once impossible to produce. Film was no longer confined to the theater. It lived in our hands, our homes, our pockets. Film as a mirror of society. Beyond entertainment, film reflects who we are. Every era's movies reveal what people feared, hoped, and dreamed of at the time. In the 1950s, films showed the anxiety of nuclear war and conformity. In the 60s and 70s, they questioned authority and celebrated rebellion. In the modern age, they explored technology, identity, and the search for meaning in a hyper-connected world. Movies like Black Panther, Parasite, and Everything Everywhere All at Once show how cinema continues to evolve, embracing diversity, culture, and new perspectives. Film isn't just art, it's empathy in motion. The psychology of film. Why do we cry when a character dies? Why do we feel suspense even when we know it's fiction? It's because film bypasses logic and speaks directly to our emotions. The brain can't easily distinguish between real experience and cinematic illusion. When the camera shakes, our hearts race. When a character smiles, our brain releases dopamine. When music swells, our emotions rise with it. Film is psychological alchemy. It turns light and sound into human experience. We don't just watch movies, we live them. Film as a universal language. There are over 7,000 spoken languages in the world, but cinema speaks only one. A child in Japan can cry watching an Italian film. A grandmother in Brazil can laugh at a French comedy. Film crosses every border, every barrier, because it speaks to the one thing we all share, feeling. When Chaplin smiles, when Rocky stands up, when Simba looks to the sky and we understand no translation required. The future of film. As technology evolves, so does storytelling. Virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and immersive experiences are blurring the line between viewer and participant. We're not just watching movies anymore, we're stepping inside them. But no matter how advanced the tools become, the heart of film remains the same. Emotion. A great movie isn't defined by its budget or its effects. It is defined by how it makes you feel. Whether it's shot on film, digital, or a phone, a story that touches the soul will always have power. The magic behind the screen. Think about the thousands of people who make a single movie possible. Writers, actors, editors, sound designers, set builders, costume makers, camera operators, and dreamers. Each frame is a tapestry of human effort. Every time the lights dim and the screen glows, we're witnessing a collaboration between art and technology, passion and patience, vision and chance. Film reminds us what humans can create when imagination meets craft. Film as memory. Movies outlive us. Long after actors are gone, their faces still move, still speak, still make us feel. Cinema captures the essence of time itself, freezing it, preserving it, replaying it. When we watch old films, we were not just seeing a story, we were looking through a window into the past, into the hearts of people who lived before us. Every frame is a heartbeat from another era, still alive in light. Film is more than a form of art. It's our shared dream. It's the closest we've come to time travel, empathy, and immortality. From the first flicker of light in 1895 to the digital worlds of today, film has carried our stories across generations. It teaches us who we are, who we've been, and who we might become. And no matter how the world changes, as long as there are humans who feel, imagine, and create, there will be film. So next time the lights dim and the screen begins to glow, remember, you're not just watching a movie, you're witnessing the miracle of being human, captured forever in motion.